When we think about immigration and its effect on people, we always think about people who immigrate. We never think about immigration and its effect on people we leave behind, family and friends. One of my son's friends actually drew my attention to this sad truth today. He made me realize that no matter how hard we try to maintain a long-distance relationship between adults, it's even harder to maintain a long-distance relationship with children. Children who were one day close friends. He said verbatim, "I had a friend. All of a sudden, there is no Harb family. You disappeared." Please help me welcome a very wise man, despite his young age, Toufic Aakl.
أهلا وسهلا فيكم بحلقة جديدة من الهجرة وشو بتعمل بالناس. اليوم ضيفة كتير عزيزة علي لأنه كنت أعرفه لما كان صغير من عمر ابني. تركته بلبنان كان عمره 6 سنين ورجعت التقيت فيه بعد 23 سنة. ما بعرف قد ايه صار عمرك توفيق. أهلا وسهلا فيك.
22 مظبوط.
22 يا هلا فيك. توفيق صار حامل شهادة الدكتوراه وموجود هلأ بإيطاليا. نحن موجودين اليوم مش تنحكي عن إنجازاته، مع أنه هو شخص بيستاهل كل المديح ويتسلط الضوء على إنجازاته. نحن اليوم عم نلتقى فيه كشخص هاجر من لبنان له 4 سنين وما بعرف الهجرة وين بدها تاخده بعد. خلينا نشوف شو عمل فيه هالانتقال من لبنان لإيطاليا. توفيق، أنا بيسعدني تكون ضيفي اليوم وما رح أحكي كتير، بس بدي أقول لك بليز خبرنا شو صار معك حتى رحت على إيطاليا وكيف كانت هالخبرة، كيف كان هالانتقال.
أول شيء بونجور وميرسي على الانترودكشن الحلوة اللي أعطيتيني إياها.
هلا فيك.
I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. أنا عملت الليسانس تبعي بالميديسين فيترينير بلبنان، veterinary medicine، وكانت من زمان أنا أساسا قبل ما بلش حتى جامعة كنت حابب إنه سافر إنه فيلم من لبنان، لأنه كنت حس إنه بلبنان ما في عنا عن جد مستقبل من زمان وجاري. يعني كنت دائما حس إنه في شيء something keeping us down، عرفت إنه إن كان بنمط الحياة ولا بالكارير تبعي ولا هذا شيء. كنت دائما اشوف كل العالم عم بتسافر وعم تنجح برا، فكنت فكر انه بروبلي مستقبلي هونيك. كان بودي انه بلش جامعه من الاساس برات لبنان، بس كانت هيدي الشغله شوي صعبه لإلي. During my college years, during my university years كنت دائما فتش على طريقه تحترفل، وبالاخر لقيت انه فرصة بآخر سنة لإلي بالجامعة إنه أروح على فرنسا أعمل 4 أشهر التيست تبعي وجرب شوي الحياة برا والريسيرش وهيك. فالشغل الريسيرش فيلد يعني، وحبيت هذا الشيء. وبس تحت رجعت على لبنان بالصيفية تبع آخر سنة، تسنحت لي الفرصة إنه أعمل PhD تبعي بإيطاليا with a scholarship. جيت لهون وصار لي من وقتها هون يعني، وما بفكر ارجع شخصيا حاليا بعد، لانه خصوصا مع الازمه اللي صارت مؤخرا بلبنان. يعني هيدي الشغله يعني it was like a way of telling me you were right all along، انه كان بدك تفل من زمان، يا ريتك فليت من قبل حتى يعني.
يعني عم بسمعك عم بتقلي انه انت كتير سعيد انك فليت من لبنان.
مني سعيد. هيدي الشغله هيدي بعتقد يعني that's the dilemma of every Lebanese immigrant، انه بده يكون مبسوط بتعيسته، بده يفتش على تعيسته ويقول الحمد لله طلع لي اياها.
واو، خبرنا كيف، لان هذا البارادوكس كتير meaningful. انت
is.
you're an immigrant in a foreign country, you're facing a new challenge, but at the same time you're saying thank God I'm here because I have a better opportunity. Can you please explain some of the challenges that have happened with you?
The first time I left Lebanon, because To tell you the truth, I was a late bloomer when it comes to traveling. The first time I stepped out of the Lebanese borders was when I was like 23 or 24, I think. It was just a year before I went to France for the thesis. I went there to the same city, to Lyon, for a internship of a
Short
month.
period of time.
Yeah, for a short period. And like both times I went there, I always felt the same. إنه you're an alien. بتعرفي غنية ستينج an Englishman in New York يعني كنت ضلني عيدها لحالي كل الوقت.
حتى
I'm an alien,
بفرنسا
I'm an alien. Sorry.
غريب، أنا بحس بفرنسا
إيه.
إنه نحن شوي قراب من بعضنا. خبرني كيف، ليش حسيت حالك إيلين بفرنسا؟
ليك مش انه العالم، مش المشكله بالعالم هونيك انه بيعاملوك بطريقه عاطله او شيء، بس it's the little things. It is really انه يعني نحن بنتروق فته وما بعرف شو، بنتروق طريقه ثقيله، هن بيتروقوا كرواسون فنجان قهوه ماكسيمم اذا تقليد. انه انا بس
هذا
لحتى اقول
حقيقي.
شغله قصدي فيها شيء هن بيفهموها شيء ثاني.
بالضبط.
اذا يعني it's really the little things ما بتفكر فيهم انت، بس بتوصل لاخر النهار بتقعدي هيك بتقولي انه انا ما حدا بيفهمني هون، وانا ما بفهم حدا هون.
هذا
مش
الشيء
باللهجه، مش بشيء، بس بدك تتعودي على قصص بتضلك. وحتى بس حتى لي يعني مثلا هلا بايطاليا، انه بعد 4 سنين انه صار في عندي شوي انه they left an imprint on me. عرفت انه صار في قصص my daily life، في my daily routine تغيروا، صاروا اكثر مثل تبعهم. بس انه I still feel انه حتى اذا تغيروا هدول القصص من برا، من جوا I still feel an alien. I still feel انه I'm different. I'm not like everyone else and
مزبوط.
they're not like me. ما فينا نفهم على بعض مزبوط يعني.
أكيد. بأمريكا بيقولوا فيك تشيل الشخص من بلاده
ايه
بس ما فيك تشيل البلد من الشخص.
ايه exactly.
طيب، خبرتني شيء very interesting. In France, we're Francophone people, so the
Yeah,
only challenge you might
encounter.
face was
Yeah,
not the language,
yeah,
but the misconception, the tradition, the
exactly,
customs, the
exactly.
way
Yeah,
of living. While in Italy, I have like some I feel like you adjust better, maybe because Italian people they're like us more. I don't know, they express
yeah.
themselves in a different way. Can you
You
elaborate
know
on that,
something?
please?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things to say about that, but I'm gonna try to keep it short. To begin with, like in Italy, my main challenge, and it still is my main challenge, was the language. While in France, it wasn't the case. In France, it was the opposite. In France, I had the language, but I couldn't connect with the people. In Italy, I don't have the language, but I connect better with the people.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. But still, like, even though I connect with the people in Italy better than I expected to, I still feel like I'm the odd one out. And I don't know. It's a bit difficult to explain. Like, it's not about racism or anything, but it's just that, like, yeah, European people are very different from us, even the Mediterranean ones. When I was in France, I used to think, like, yeah, that's because they're like Southern European people, sorry, Northern European people that are very snob وهالقصص كلها يعني.
bourgeoisie.
In Italy, I used to hear a lot of people saying that Italian people are more like us, they're Mediterranean and stuff like that. And it is the case, sorry, especially in Sardinia, which is different from Milano and Torino and northern parts of Italy. Sardinian people are really, really very similar to Lebanese people, both in culture, in food, in their manners, and everything. But yeah, there's still a lot of differences. There's still a
Can
lot
you
of
give
like
me an example?
sometimes they
Give me
give
an
you
example,
a
just
compliment. You take it
portray.
as a that's all.
Can you
Sorry.
give me an example to portray your frustration? Where does it come from? Since we're similar, where does
You
it
want
come
to
from?
hear
I
a
know that
little
you
thing?
had to learn Italian.
Yeah.
You had to
Well,
learn Italian, which is awesome. So if you can give me few examples, just to explain to the viewers the cultural shock, maybe, or the period of adjusting, what have you.
Well, this might sound a bit dramatic, or maybe you might think I'm a drama queen or whatever. But for example, like I'm working as a waiter right now, just until I find a stable job. So my boss and the manager in at work in the restaurant, after having worked like for a month, I worked 29 days for a full month. I was supposed to work like 25 or 26. Everyone works like that. I worked for 29 days. So I made more money than everyone else. On payment day, he came to me and he was like, Toufic, you know something? You made a lot of money this month. I was shocked. When he said that, I was shocked. Maybe it's the way he said it or something. But as a Lebanese, you don't come to a guy who's worked his ass off and you tell him that you made a lot of money this month. Like, I made that money from the sweat of my back, you know? It was like, انه مش طلعن بالحرام. عرفتي؟ حسيت انه ما بحق لك تحكي معي بهالطريقه، ما بحق لك تقول لي هيك شيء. بعدين انه مره قلت له انه ما فيك كل مره تجي. It didn't happen just once, you know. Every few days it was like, yeah, Tawfiq, you're making a lot of money, you're making a lot of money. So one time I stopped him and I said, like, why are you telling me that as if I'm robbing you from that money? And he was like, no, I mean it as a compliment. Like, you're working hard, you make a lot of money. But for me, as a Lebanese person, you don't say that to anyone. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think in Lebanon anyone ever went to an employer and told him, you're making a lot of money, you know?
You feel like what? Are you jealous? You're not gonna give me what I...
Yeah, like, am I robbing you or something? Are you trying to say that I'm robbing you, or I don't know?
You owe me this money. I worked, yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe I know.
You asked me to come to work. You're the one who puts the schedules.
Yeah,
If you don't want me to make that much money, don't give me that many days to work.
Yeah. Sometimes they said, oh, it's a language barrier. No, it's not a language barrier. It's the way they perceive things. Look, the guy, for him, it's a compliment. Instead of saying, wow, you're a hard worker. I'm so pleased by you. But you know why? Because he just compare you to another local employee.
Exactly.
And he found out that you're not as lazy as them. Or I don't want to use the word lazy, but you're like, you're a hustler. You want to get, you know?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Exactly. So give me an example, if you may, about the language barrier. Now, you gave me a beautiful example in society and how they perceive things, their perception.
Well, I can tell you about the many times I went to try to do some paperwork in Italy, like to خلص معاملات كيف فيك تقوليها يعني عارف.
Yeah.
Whether it's for
my document,
for staying permit or something like that. And in Italy, you need to know something that not a lot of people speak English. So it's been tough on that side. So yeah, like you ask someone, I don't know, for example, when does the what's called prefettura مثل البلدية يعني when is it open for
where is the city hall?
Yeah, when does it open for immigration papers and stuff like that? And every person tells you a different story. Every person tells you something else, simply because each one is understanding something different from what you're saying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you're going there twice, 3 times, 4 times just to finish one paperwork, one little document that should take 10 minutes.
Yeah, I understand completely. What was the best thing that happened to you in Italy?
The best thing that happened to me in Italy, I really can't say. I don't know, because it's been, especially these last 4 years have been like filled with drama and explosions in Lebanon and COVID-19 and plenty of things. But I think the best thing that happened to me was finding my current girlfriend, to be honest. Like we're always when we're in the same country, like it's funny kind of, because we're in the same school to start with. and nothing ever happened between us. Then I went to the Lebanese University, which is in Kellis, and she went to Alba, which is also like around Kellis, and we never even saw each other for 6 years.
You never crossed paths. Wow.
We never crossed paths. Once I was in a different country, that's when we got together. Wow. And yeah, we've been together. Like, it's been difficult, long distance, you know, it's not easy. And with everything that's been going on with Lebanon and with the world, and with both of us privately also, it's been difficult to see each other every now and then. It's not like we can meet every 2-3 months. It was like yeah, 2-3 times tops a year, 2 times I would say, and every time it was for a brief period, but still we were able to
manage,
hang in there.
Yeah, congratulations. Based on what you said, I don't know if you allow me to ask you, is it building relationship with foreigners, is it difficult because they don't have the same customs and tradition? How was it your relationship with Italian girls? Do they hit on you? Is it easy to approach them? Do they like foreign people? Do they like Lebanese? Because we're both warm, we express ourselves almost, you know, very similar. So what can you tell me about this experience?
Well, I can't help you a lot there because I'm not exactly a very social person, let's say. I'm not the kind of guys that, yeah, I'm not the kind of guys who hit on girls and stuff like that. Like, I'm even surprised how my current girlfriend Leslie is with me, to be honest. Because, yeah,
come on. You deserve both of you.
But to tell you the truth, she had to make a lot of efforts to be able to keep up with how shy I am, and yeah, I am a little shy on that end. But what I can tell you is that I think Lebanese girls have more success with Italian guys. In fact, I know that from my friends because yeah, I see a lot of Lebanese girls who come here and that get pretty like in long-term relationships because yeah. Yes.
So what can you tell me about the Italian girls? How do they perceive the relationship? Are they the one like American girls? Do they take the initiative with the man, or they wait for the man to chase them and take the initiative?
No, they wait for the man to chase them. Actually, Italian girls are pretty much like Lebanese girls in that sense, from what I understand, at least. Let's say that they're very traditional, whatever that may mean today. They want the guy to make the first step. They want to make them chase them, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Italian people and Lebanese people are similar in some ways in the manner and the sense of like they liked having, especially in the South where I am, they like having like a family dinner. They like to keep the family traditions, the family feeling. Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
that makes
losing a little bit. It's losing a little bit of its impact. ما بقى هيدي الشغله كتير موجوده هلا، مش يعني عم تبلش تخسر من قيمتها عند الجيل اللي عم يطلع هلا.
The new generation, they don't follow the family stuff.
Right now, when it comes to families and relationships, romantic relationships and marriage, it's becoming a bit of a habitude, a habit for young people to not get married, like not young people, how can I say that? Like young couples, they don't think about marriage and their future. Like, yeah, it's a long-term relationship, but without any marriage, we can have children. We can live in the same house for 20 years, even for the future. But marriage is not really an option for us. Why get married if we're gonna get divorced eventually? You know, that's the thought of the new generation.
I understand. I see what you're saying. The same here. You know, I live within like Dominican community, the people who
Yeah,
come from the Dominican Republic. And I know for fact that couples, they stay together for
yeah,
30, 40 years, and they call themselves esposo and esposa, but
exactly. Sposata,
without
sposata.
talking. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's their preference. I know what you're
I
saying.
think I think it's related to religious beliefs, maybe even like yeah, we don't
Even
want to
though
abide
they're
by the
very
church
religious,
rules. We don't want to.
Tufi,
Yeah,
they're very
sorry.
religious. They're like
They
us.
are. They
They
are.
have, yeah, statue of the Virgin Mary, the cross everywhere.
Okay.
They're too much on the values and the family. They like to follow the family values and the respect of the elderlies, and they're very religious. And but I don't know. I think it's generational.
Yeah.
Um, conception of marriage is changing. Let's switch to another
Okay. Yeah.
question. What is the worst thing that happened to you in Italy?
يعني مثل ما and the best thing there wasn't just I couldn't think of something. It's actually because like my 4 years were full of worse things. Like I can't
Oh,
decide which is worse. Is it the economical crisis that happened in Lebanon? Is it
no, no,
the
no.
4th
Tell
of
me,
August
what's the worst thing that you faced in Italy? What
Italian?
was the first thing? Or not the first, the second, the third. You said it's a series of bad things. I, just if you can share with us, so I can have like an idea about how could that be when you're by yourself, learning the new language, preparing your
Yeah,
PhD. It's a
I
huge
think
challenge.
the PhD was very challenging, especially with the COVID that hit in the middle of my second year, which was supposed to be like the year where I was gonna do the most of the work. And with the COVID, I got stuck here. I don't know if yeah, I did tell you that before. I was stuck here during the COVID. All of my friends, because there's a lot of Lebanese people in Sassari. There's like 10 other students that come here every year with me. So yeah, all of them went back to Lebanon, and I got stuck here actually because I was thinking like, yeah, it's just gonna be a month or two, and then I have to get back to my work because I need to finish. I'm already during my second year of the PhD. I have a lot of work to finish, but it turned out to be like a couple of years rather than a couple of months.
Oh, I'm
The pandemic,
sorry.
so I got stuck here, and that was difficult because I was scared whether I would have access to go to shopping, to go do my grocery shopping,
It's
or
scary.
yeah,
It's scary
yeah, it was pretty
and
scary.
lonely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
eventually, thankfully, my tutor was able to fix a way for me to get out of to get back to Lebanon, but that was like in by the end of May or something. So yeah, I
Wow.
stayed for like from February. I think it started in Italy. The lockdown started in around mid-February until May. I was like home all
Wow.
alone,
It sucks.
and
It sucks.
yeah,
God, you kept your sanity, by yourself and
yeah, it
in a
was hard.
foreign country.
It was hard.
I see. Sufi, it sounds like the bad things are bad encounters about the situation globally.
Yeah.
It's not, I feel like it wasn't really culturally something bad culturally. Maybe there are more differences than bad things in Italy
Mm,
as an immigrant. Like, for example, the way your professor treat you, you feel like you're a regular student. You don't feel like you're an
uh,
immigrant. Culturally, what happened to you that
no.
made you feel a foreign guy? Not the
Okay.
situation, not the life situation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is, I don't want to talk bad about my tutor either because, like, he's a good guy, and I know that he respects me and everything. But no, there were differences in the way that we between me and other students. You know,
Tell me.
not necessarily by intention, like they weren't necessarily intentional on his end. But I remember, like, one thing that shocked me when I first came here, and during my first year, there were like other Arab students, let's say. There was like a couple of Tunisian students with us, and he came preaching. My tutor came preaching about how he wants all the students, all the international students that come here to learn about Italian life and open up to trying new experiences and stuff. And how religion shouldn't be a reason to not try something while offering a Muslim person alcohol. But like, you should respect some boundaries, man. Like, I don't think they understand boundaries, you know? That's like, for me, it's like, I wouldn't do that for a person. If he has religious views that prohibit him from drinking alcohol, from eating pork or whatever, you should respect that. You shouldn't like invade
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
in the sake for the sake of, yeah, open up and you have to
Yeah.
experience new things. That's not how things work.
No, you have to respect other people and their
Exactly.
tradition.
And then preach about like, that's the funny thing. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but
No,
that's the
no.
funny thing. Like, he, like, in the same sentence, he was like saying that I totally accept all religious, I totally accept all views, but you should try alcohol.
Oh, he insisted.
Yeah.
Okay. Toufic, we're about to wrap up this interview. I feel bad. We have to wrap it
Yeah.
up, but I have still two questions for you. Can you tell me what's the difference between Toufic, the former Toufic, and the current Toufic, the Lebanese guy and the immigrant guy? What's the difference between before and now?
No, I think
What
there's
I mean, the immigration, what does it add to your character or to your perception of life? What's the difference between the Lebanese guy and the immigrant guy?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of differences, and I think when I look back at myself, how I used to be when I was back in Lebanon, I think I was very naive, and I didn't
In what
appreciate a
sense?
lot of things. In the sense of thinking that, yeah, in Europe you'll be respected. Not necessarily.
You have to
In
fight.
Europe,
You have to stand your ground.
yeah, exactly, exactly, and you have to,
Work
uh,
as hard, twice as hard, if not three times as hard as
exactly.
them to prove
Exactly.
yourself.
I used to think that life here would be easy. It's not at all easy. In fact, life in Lebanon was easy for me, but maybe that's because I was a student. Now I'm a grown-up person, let's say. I'm an adult. But yeah, I think other than how naive I think I used to be, I think that now I appreciate more the efforts that my parents used to put in their lives, how much they how much effort they put to raise us. Like, I think now that every penny counts, every penny that I make, like how I spend it, that's something completely different. I rely much more on myself. I'm much more
Independent.
independent, but not just independent. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. And yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. So let me ask you a final question. If somebody would like to leave Lebanon and immigrate to another country, what would you tell them?
Uh, expect a lot of heartache. Expect a lot of days where you feel like you just want to go back today, right now. I want to be back in my house in Lebanon, and push through it because it's worth it. If you don't
It's
push through
worth
it,
it.
yeah, yeah, it is
It's worth it.
because currently,
To your
unfortunately,
goal,
if
I'm
you
sorry, I'm interrupting. Is
no,
it
sorry,
worth it to reach your goal or to improve as a person, to develop your human
both,
psyche, your human brain, to be more open?
both, it's both. And
Both.
actually, yeah, that reminds me of something, a difference between European Toufic and Lebanese Toufic. Like, I now understand many other cultures than the Lebanese one. Like I used to think that everyone is like the Lebanese people. There's no differences between cultures. Like if there's a difference, it's personal difference, not cultural difference. Now I understand the true meaning of cultural difference. Like I never thought about that when I was in Lebanon, because I had no interaction with other cultures, not that much at least. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, it's worth it to open up to other cultures. It is important because it's important to learn that thing that I was just talking about. And you gain a lot of personal growth, a lot of knowledge, a lot of, I don't know, like for example, a small stupid example, but like now I eat my food like Italians in the way like I eat the pasta first, then the secondo, then the salad, and I find like that's perfection. That's the perfect way to eat food. Like I never thought about it. Like the salad at the end. That's good.
Oh,
So yeah,
really?
that's something small, but it stays with you. And if you don't see other cultures, I don't know. Maybe if I go to New Zealand, I would discover something else that I could learn that would improve my life in some sense. And that's these little
Yeah,
things are nice sometimes. They
yeah.
are.
We keep. I think immigration. It's an invitation to grow and to learn. It's
Yes.
people. They said, "Oh, I'm a lifelong learner," and I wonder sometimes if we stop learning, if we can call ourselves a human, because if we're stagnant, that means we're behind. We
Yeah.
have to keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Toufic, is there any question you wanted me to ask you and I haven't?
No, I think you covered everything, to be honest. That's it was a very interesting interview. Thank you for these questions. Like I don't think anyone ever asked me these questions like that. And I'm happy. I was very happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for your time and for your insights. Your experience is so valuable and it would be very inspirational for the young generation. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, and I wish you a great day.
thank you. Have a great day too. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.